I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Yeah, it does. We're only 18 minutes late into Monday's Daily Puck Drop, and it's not. I know what you're thinking. What did Jim do wrong? Jim didn't do anything wrong. This is all user error on me. All right, we'll get right into it. Daily Puck Drop live every single day on all the platforms, on X, on YouTube, Puck Sports mobile app. Usually we start at 10, but today on Monday's show on August 25th, we're starting at 10:18. Wow. Good job. You can, of course, listen back to the show and watch the show on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever your favorite podcast platforms. We broadcast every day from the Limback Lumber Studios. Let Limback Lumber take care of you of all their lumber needs. Give them a call and go visit the fine folks there at Limback Lumber. Ladies and gentlemen, that phone number 206-782-3487 or visit them at limbacklumber.com. Old school service. They're going to take care of you. On Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we are joined by the one and only Jim Moore. And boy, you are soaking this up because you love the fact that I F this up today. Now, Jim is such a big deal. He's brought to you by not one, not two, soon to be, I think, three. But right now, we can't announce the third one yet.
Do people realize that what I'm doing out there is because you're not paying me anything? Okay. But you're allowing me the opportunity to make money off of your podcast, which I appreciate. So I don't want to let that fall through.
You're like you're becoming one like a NASCAR.
Or a golfer,
or golfer. What golfer has the most like sponsors on them? Like Cantlay's got a bunch.
God, I can't stand him.
I know.
Can you? Patrick Cantlay. And you see how long he takes to putt.
And I have a moment. I have a moment from yesterday's historic one from Tommy Fleetwood that I dislike him even more with what he did. All right. So you're brought to you by who?
Okay. Puck, for almost a year now, a Clean Streak, professional window and exterior cleaning service in Oak Harbor, Washington, serving Island and Skagit counties for more than 10 years. And now they're expanding to Snohomish County just for Puck Sports listeners. You can get it all done with Brian Turner and his capable crew there. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, window washing, a one-stop shop for all your cleaning needs. So give them a call. Ask for Brian, okay? Ask for Brian, 360-395-5748, or visit acleanstreak.com. Also joining the Puck Sports broadcast earlier this month, Brotherton Cadillac and Brotherton Buick GMC. They've been a part of their name since 1972, but not nearly as long as Brotherton has been associated with Washington State University. They're fourth-generation Cougs, fourth-generation car dealers. They always find their way back home, right? Well, they can always find your way to Brotherton, too. Having served the Washington State community for more than 100 years, Brotherton is truly different. You can always count on them to be loyal, loyal, loyal. Visit them in Renton or Shoreline or online at brothertonauto.com.
So let me tell you what happened. We're about to start the show. In fact, we started the show. I hit the little, the little countdown clock. It's like 45. And then at 30 seconds, I realized I'm looking down at the screen, like on my screen. Jim can't see this, but on my screen, it's got all the videos that I'm going to play. And I realize I'm looking down there and I'm just like, oh, there's the countdown. There's the show open. There's Bill O'Reilly. I have a picture of Tommy Fleetwood's aging wife, some home runs from Cal Raleigh. And then I realize, oh, where's the Bill Krueger interview? And for Bill and I tell everyone this. We don't try to hide here that I tape segments. Bill and I tape in the morning. And I look down, I go, oh, shit. I taped him, but then once I got done, I forgot to edit it and put it up there. And I'm dicking around. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm reading Cougar football stories, having some breakfast, and then I'm like, oh, I forgot to edit the Bill Krueger interview. What an idiot. So that's what happened. I'm a moron.
Okay, I want to give you a hard time. The part that I like,
come on.
Well, the part that I like is like you always, God, whenever I have a problem, like with my microphone or my video or even getting a decent Wi-Fi signal, it's always like, oh, Oh, God, Jim. Jesus Christ, Jim. Yeah. No one ever sees that side of Jason Puckett, but I do. The guy's got a temper. I mean, he gets frustrated sometimes. He does. Yeah.
It's not a temper.
And so I'm sitting here enjoying my cup of coffee while you're going through and editing Krueger's, video and everything else. And yeah, I'm just lapping it up. I want seconds. I want seconds and thirds.
You want something else to happen.
Yeah, I want my dog to stop barking. That's probably not likely.
Let the dog Hey, how's everything down there? Again, so is user error on me. We'll go a little long today. We'll go past the 11:30. I think Rob Staton's going to come on. You don't have to stick around for Rob. Rob's going to come on around 11:10. We'll play you Bill Krueger coming up later as well. I wanted to get Rob on sometime this week after they haven't made all the roster cut downs, but I think we know what's going to happen with the Seahawks just to get like a preview. And Rob's back for another year of our football coverage. But I think he's going to come on around 11:10 or 11:15 today. Before we go on, how are things down there? Because there's a big fire that's happening right now in Bend.
Yeah, it's pretty evident around here. I was telling you earlier before the show started that there's ash on the cars. It's not like Mount St. Helens or something. There's just a little bit of ash here and there. But yeah, it's definitely been smoky. Yesterday was probably the worst day, but getting a little rain this morning, which is helping out.
Okay, well, stay safe. That sucks. There's a lot of fires everywhere around Oregon, California. There's one Montana firefighter that was battling the blaze in Montana died. And
oh geez, they said the one down here is 22,000 acres.
Oof.
Yeah. Oof. Terrible.
Oh man, yeah, it's not good. All right, well, I'm one step closer, because the big guy did it not once but twice yesterday. Our guy Cal Raleigh,
high fly ball, way out of here. There it goes. Number 48 reaches the second deck. He has tied the all-time record of the most home runs by a catcher in a single season, and Cal Raleigh has done it before the end of August. Simply incredible. Cal, blast off, left field. There it goes. Cal Raleigh. His 49th home run. Storybook season by Cal Raleigh. He has done it.
just 2 more home runs. So he ties Perez. He passes Salvador Perez. Now he's got his sights set on Mickey Mantle. For the most
Mickey Mantle. Think about that.
The most
talk about a classic baseball name, Mickey Mantle.
Most home runs for a switch hitter, and then he's 7 away from tying Griffey for the most home runs in franchise history. They beat the tar out of the A's yesterday to take 2 or 3 from the A's. But the story was just Cal, and really the story is a personal level for me because now I'm one.
Yeah, why do you have to make it about you? Why don't you just talk about Cal Raleigh and his achievement?
Because this shows
you got to tell everybody, oh God, Moore was a dumbass betting $50 that Raleigh wouldn't get to 50.
Because
throw that in there.
This show is about us. It's not about anybody else. It's about our accomplishments.
No, I think the coolest thing about it is what he's doing right-handed this year. I mean, it's just he didn't really have much of a bat right-handed. I mean, he was okay throughout his career, but more Dylan Moore than he was Cal Raleigh from the right side.
Well, remember when we've brought this up several times that we had him on the radio one time when we asked him where I asked him, why don't you just bat from the left side?
Yeah. And how'd that go over?
About as well as
the
Jedd
Mueller interview with him.
Oh, probably worse than the Ty France interview or Joey Blunt. Yeah. It was bad.
Well, you wanted to see Cal hit left-handed against left-handed pitchers. You wanted to see what that'd be like.
Just his swing looks better left-handed. I was like, wow, you ever thought about just swinging left-handed?
Yeah.
His pause it felt like a million years. No, I'm a switch hitter.
You want to guess how many home runs he has right-handed now?
Okay, so he's 49. Got 49.
And the only reason I know this is that I listened to Mitch Unfiltered this morning.
Okay.
And he's part of your Thursday deal. And if you listen to the live show at Puck Sports, you can hear the whole interview. But later on, it's just for Puck's Posse's Puck's Posse members. Yep. It's just $5 a month, and it's less than that if you sign up for a year. And you get Mitch Levy, you get the Sports Pit. You can find it at Spotify. How's that? Doing okay?
Ryan Divish.
Oh, Ryan Divish. What are the other bonuses? Oh, the scout.
No, just those 3.
Okay.
There's going to be a change to the sports bit starting tomorrow too. So we'll have an announcement on that one.
Well,
you have to wait till tomorrow.
I don't want to wait till tomorrow.
Well, you're going to have to. You're not a member.
Is it like big news, or is it like
you don't get access?
Is it medium-sized news? Is it?
You're not a member, so you don't get access to it.
I'm a member.
I'm
giving you $5 a month.
I don't think you are. Okay, what was your question? Of the 49 home runs, how many has he hit left-handed or right-handed?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I was just going to look this up because I don't.
I think you'll get close. I think you'll get within a foot of the pin.
19.
You nailed it.
Is it 19?
It's exactly 19.
I promise, hand to God, that was just a guess.
Okay.
19. That's good. Yeah, well,
and it's not just that he's doing that, but they're tape measure shots.
Well, that first one, Jesus.
They're not wall scrapers. What he's doing with this, and to be doing, I don't know how many he has at T-Mobile compared to the road. I didn't look that up, and Mitch didn't talk about that today.
Well, F Mitch. Mitch actually do some work and maybe look that stuff up. I read this quote to Bill Krueger, which trust me, we'll play Bill Krueger coming up later, and it's a fantastic interview. You're going to love the Bill Krueger interview. It only took me, time to edit it all up, so we got the show started late by 20 minutes. What his quote after the game when all the reporters were, hey, how do you put this season in perspective? What does this mean to you? And, you expect him to give, well, this is just a great accomplishment, all that. But he did exactly what you thought he was going to do. He deflected. And his quote was, the hardest part is just trying to stay focused on the main goal. And that's winning baseball games and helping this team get to where it needs to go. And obviously doing this stuff has been awesome and amazing. But at the same time, it's been more focusing on the other guys in that room, focusing on the pitchers, focusing on the team goals rather than myself. That's Cal Raleigh in a nutshell.
Then he went on to say, I think that attitude and that approach that he has actually helped him achieve what he's achieving this year. So rather than focusing on, God, I got to get number 48, I got to get number 49, I got to get to 50, it's just happening naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's going up there. Like the only thing I can compare it to is like when we're trying to hit a golf ball, the less you think about it, the better success you have. And so maybe...
Yeah, he's just the perfect athlete, though, in terms of, and we've talked about this a lot with him, the humility, the way he prepares, just the entire package. It's never the individual success is never bigger than what the team success is and what he wants to do.
I love him the most for that one quality he has, because I don't think he's ever going to change. Yeah. Success won't go to his head. We're not going to see some big ego thing coming out. I love that he's doing the Honey Bucket stuff, that he's associated with Honey Bucket. He's embracing Big Dumper. Yeah. I mean, just everything about him. He's just, we've talked about it. He's a guy that, like you always say, I'd like to have a beer with somebody. Well, that guy is a guy that would just be on our level. Whatever level you're on, Cal Raleigh can join you at that level. It's like,
I'd like to sit around like an outdoor fire pit, drinking beer with him.
Yeah,
that's what I'd like to do, or go fishing.
And he'd be great just not talking about baseball at all.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to talk about it.
Just shooting the shit with him about the NFL or college football. Hey, how's Florida State looking this year?
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's just that kind of guy. And for some reason, I was thinking, I know Russell Wilson. I saw a little bit of him, some highlights from the Giants preseason game. I started thinking about him. Russell Wilson, when he came to town, he was kind of an aw shucks guy, coming from Wisconsin, 3rd round pick, and then got so full of himself that nobody could stand him anymore. And You're never going to see that from Cal Raleigh. Never. That'll never happen with him. And then the chance of MVP yesterday and everybody getting behind that, it's just, this has been the funnest part of a really good Mariners season thus far.
And even his curtain call was just kind of classic Cal.
It's almost like he's embarrassed to hold up the trident. It's like, oh God, I got to do this again. And then, all right, I'll do it. But
I think
I'd
he is
prefer not
embarrassed.
to.
I think there is part of him that gets a little embarrassed about the attention because I think he was just raised in playing sports, and especially at that position, that I am not supposed to be like a me person. I'm not supposed to be the central figure of anything. I'm just, head down, do my job, be a team player. And he just, I think he's now been thrust into this spotlight, especially this season. I mean, he's going down to have one of the best seasons in the history of the sport for a guy at his position. And I think that attention I think he likes it. I think he understands it and appreciates it. But at the same time, I think he's probably a little embarrassed by it.
No, the one thing he reminds me of Griffey. I mean, not just the powerful swing that he has. And it's pretty amazing to think that Ken Griffey Jr. hit 56 home runs twice in a season, and it looks like Cal's going to be doing that too. And of course, I'm going to be owing you $50, so keep track of your Venmo. I'll be getting that your way pretty soon. But the one thing he has in common with Griffey is that Griffey never liked talking about himself either. I gotta hand it to him on that one. Griffey wasn't as approachable as Cal is, but Cal is great when he's talking about other people, but when he talks about himself, you can tell he doesn't want to do that. And Griffey was the same way. And so you noticed that yesterday when Logan Gilbert came up, Cal was just effusive in praise, talking about him, the 13 strikeouts, and great to see Gilbert, but really doesn't care to talk about himself too much.
No, he doesn't. He never wants. I mean, just even answering the benign question that he was asked just about, putting this season, kind of in perspective, and he deflects and it's right back to his teammates. It's, to everyone else but him. And I just think it's, I just would ask me a couple of years ago, if you would have asked 2 years ago or when they went in the playoffs, young player on the team that in 2025 is going to be in talks of the American League MVP, everyone, 99.9% would have said Julio Rodriguez.
Oh, of course.
So it's, I just think that you wouldn't have envisioned where he was at. I think he's always had power. He's always been good. But nothing like what he is doing this year. And the fact that he caught every single game of the A's series. I came in late to the game yesterday, and he normally never catches on Sunday. Never. And then I saw him back there, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, he gets it. It's the push.
I also like, for good measure, that he just, added a late single to have 3 hits on the day.
But he was going for number 3 on that swing. Yeah. Did he swing out of his shoes on that?
And then I liked hearing about Gilbert and how he usually doesn't watch the team when they're hitting, and he's down in the tunnel. Yeah. But when Raleigh was up, he comes out to watch that live. And that's the thing too. I think as Mariner fans, we can all agree that Cal Raleigh I'm stopping what I'm doing, whatever it is I'm doing, just to watch Cal Raleigh at bats.
Right. Of course.
Yeah. And you do that probably more with Raleigh now than you did with Julio, but you always did it with Griffey. You always did it.
Right.
And Cal Raleigh's that kind of player now. You stop what you're doing to see what Cal's going to do. It's
pretty amazing I think in all likelihood he will do it, I think. But I mean, if he ties him, even breaks that record, probably a long shot to get Judge's 62. Yeah, that's
he's like plus 160 right now. I mean, Judge, well, and then, he's not. Would you bet on him to win the MVP right now?
Yeah, I put some money. I put some money on it. What is it?
I think it's plus 160. So 100 to win 160.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
but how many more home runs does he have to hit than Aaron Judge to justify his average being lower than Judge's and the fact that he plays for the Mariners and not the New York Yankees?
I think what would help him would be a couple of things. One would pass Mantle and how revered Mantle is in baseball. And even, God, if he ties Griffey or gets 57, now he's past Griffey. Now you've passed just like 2 of the all-time greats on some home run, marks. I think if they win the division and the Yankees just get a wild card, that helps them. Because I think you can point to what his individual success has meant to the team. I think here, and Krueger and I talked about this one. I don't want to hear these talking heads on baseball talk about his average. Because I've been told for the last 15 years that batting average doesn't fucking matter. And now
and
all of a sudden,
RBIs don't matter either.
right? But all of a sudden, when we're debating, I watched it this morning that Brian Kelly did on MLB Network. Well, look at us batting average. You've just told me for the last decade that batting average doesn't matter anymore. Now, I don't believe that. You don't believe that. Folks that do, that's fine. I think batting average is important still. Call me crazy. I think getting hits is important. But I don't want to hear these people talk about how, well, his batting average is so far down. You've just spent all these years telling people that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say he's a long shot to be MVP, but he's up against it. He's got to be way ahead of Judge in home runs.
I think it's closer than people realize. I do. I think even though that there's going to be this real big push from East Coast voters, I do think that they understand the significance of what he's doing and the difference of the positions they play.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. But I was just drifting off. I'm distracted by my own brain cells because you mentioned that the show is for us and not for anyone else. And so I was going to start thinking about me here for a second, if you don't mind. I want you to give me a chance to win the $50 back that I'm going to lose to you for Raleigh hitting his 50th. And here's what I propose.
Okay.
You set the over-under on when he hits number 50, and I get a choice on whether I'm going to go over or under that date.
Oh, man. Now you're asking me to, I'm so bad at this stuff. So I got to do.
So they got 3 against the Padres, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I got
Day off at Cleveland.
So are you asking me for games or the date?
No, just a date.
Okay, so he's got 3 against the Padres. He got Sears as a lefty, so he's swinging righty tonight. Then
don't go that in depth on it.
Just you know what? Leave me alone.
Throw out a date.
That he just gets one more?
Yeah, whenever he hits his 50th. Well, what's the over-under on when he hits 50? Because he's going to do it. I mean, he's got 30 games to go. He's going to hit at least one.
Well, of course. Shit, he's on a heater. I'll just say, God, he doesn't do it this weekend. Does he do it this week? Friday, August 29th at Cleveland.
Okay, wait a minute. Does that include the Friday game?
That includes the Friday game.
All right. That's 4 games. Okay. I'll take the over. I'll say that he hits it on the 30th or later. All
right. Now I got to do 30th.
So you need 1 home run from him in the next 4 games.
Yeah. 1 home run next 4. This is for the 50 you owe me already?
Yeah.
So then you're going to lose another. So 100. Okay.
Yeah. That's usually what 50 and 50 equals. I'll help you here.
I do ask a lot of dumb questions sometimes. Like a real moron. All right.
This is perfect. I'm loaded. I'm going to be loaded as of Wednesday. I get my Social Security payment.
I'm loaded. I'm
fourth Wednesday of every month.
I'm loaded already because of Tommy Fleetwood. So I'm playing with house money.
Did you bet on him?
In my golf league, I was the only one to have Tommy Fleetwood in my golf.
Oh my God. What'd you win?
Well, I don't know the total, but it's all this carryover. We have like 7 skins carryover. I mean, this is, it's going to be a lot. Plus, it vaults me into
give me an idea.
I honestly don't know how.
I mean, is it like $3 or $4 grand or something?
Probably a little. Yeah, right around there, maybe more.
Okay.
And then it's going to be vaults me into.
Can you funnel some of that to me for some of these appearances I'm making? Or
no, I don't think so. You have 15 different sponsors paying you good money.
Hey, throw a dog a bone every once in a while, would you?
And then it vaults me to the top 5. So I was sweating that final round for Tommy Fleetwood more than anybody in the world.
God, aren't you? I mean, I'm happy for you, but I'm happier for him. I wanted to see his elderly wife though come prancing out onto the green.
Well,
we didn't. Well,
did you hear the story why she didn't travel? She stayed back home.
No.
Too old to fly.
So, or you see what Southwest is doing, or was this just a fake thing?
I don't know.
They're going to charge people that are plus size passengers. They're going to start charging for 2 seats. Is that just Is that like a meme, a joke?
I don't know, but I mean, why not? But yeah, she's too old. There, like we're showing on the video. Go back and for those just listening, go back and watch it later. Showing a picture of Fleetwood's wife that is how much older than him?
I think he's 34 and she's 58.
Yeah, well, she looks 58.
No,
What
she
is he
doesn't.
doing? What is he doing?
Well, it occurred to me that I was like making fun of him or her for being so old, you know, and I'm going, geez, Jim, she's 10 years younger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that looks like his mother.
I mean, what I'd give to be with a 58-year-old, you know, I'm stuck with a 66-year-old. And look at Tommy, what he's doing here.
I mean, that could be his mother.
Yes, it could. Yes, it could. But doesn't Tommy look happy with her?
I'm sure he does. I mean, but Tommy could be happier with someone that's 24. I'll tell you that, Tommy.
No, he couldn't. No, he couldn't.
It was, it was sweat. I mean, if anyone's followed golf with Fleetwood, this was like the third time that he had a lead like this, dating back to what was the first one that he lost to Keegan Bradley back in June at the Travelers. He had coughed up the lead on the back nine, the final few holes, lost it on 18 to Bradley. Go back to the St. Jude from a couple of weeks ago. Same deal, 2-shot lead with 3 to play. Loses that, doesn't get into the playoff. Rose wins. And they just talked about it all the time on the broadcast. They're like, well, he's been here before. Is he going to be able to come through the entire back nine? And it's just like, good. He almost puts it in the water again on 15. But it doesn't go in, and it was good for him. You saw the emotion when he won. He's beloved on the tour, beloved by everyone that follows that sport. And I think everybody in the golfing world and non-golfing world was pulling for me. I mean, he's Caitlin Clark is reaching out to him via social media. I mean, it just was very cool. Very cool moment.
Well, it's a story for everyone who's not even a golf fan, because it's a story about a guy that's been at that doorstep so many times and been called a choker. Yeah. And I think, the last time that he didn't come through, he got a lot of vicious responses on Twitter. He's been, there's a guy that I know from Austria that I met on a golf trip, and he thinks he's like the biggest loser ever on tour. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like you, Puck. I've always liked Tommy Fleetwood.
Love him.
And I think it goes back to some story I read about him a long time ago about how much he loves dogs. And I just thought, God, I'm going to follow this guy a little bit. And so for those of us who aren't, people who aren't golf fans, it's that story about, God, you just keep trying, and finally you'll break through. Yeah. And so he eliminated the choker and loser label yesterday, and it was really cool to see. The thing that I appreciated the most about that post-round interview that he had wasn't what he had to say and a few of the tears welling up in his eyes. I like the fact that when the interview was over, I think it was the Golf Channel, Cara Capuano, maybe, or no, not Cara Capuano.
She worked for Northwest
Root Sports. I like Cara. I like that Cara too. Whoever the Golf Channel person was,
I know who you're talking about. Yes.
She dropped her pen, and Tommy, before he took off after the interview was over, he stooped down and picked up the pen for her. I don't know. I like that.
What do you think about the reporter giving the athlete a hug?
Did they hug?
Yes.
Well, what's her name? Not Zalumis.
I would hug Nicole Zalumis.
Well, who's the gal that hooked up with Rory? What's her name again?
Amanda Balionis.
Yeah. She hugs a lot of guys.
Okay, what are our thoughts on hugging athletes? Should they be hugging the athlete after the interview?
No, they shouldn't.
Crosses a line.
Yeah.
How
do you feel about sportscasters that marry athletes?
Yeah.
Because we have two in town. Lisa Gangle married Patrick Kearney.
Yeah, who's the other one?
God, the Coug from Channel 13 married Charlie Furbush.
Oh.
We love her. We love Lisa. I love them all. Yeah.
Do what you want. The hugging, though, I don't know. I'm always like,
yeah.
Why are you hugging?
You don't like the hugging?
I just, you're supposed to be doing a job, not hugging them.
Did you do a victory dance or anything like with Owen? Did you do like a little Mariner victory dance with Mari? And
it was just a tea. I think I was so glass half empty, just expecting him to choke it away. That I was just like, please, I celebrated and ran around the room. Thank God.
Yeah, well, and then I took $20 off of Travis Fulton, your golf guy, who seems to know everything about golf except for how to pick winners.
Yeah, well, he does not like Tommy Fleetwood.
No,
I found that out. He does not a big fan of Tommy Fleetwood. Like, why? Who doesn't like Tommy Fleetwood? So yeah, it was fun to watch. Yes. Thank God.
Well, you got your vacation paid for. I mean, you just took 2 days off a week or so ago, and you feel like, God, I haven't had a summer vacation yet.
No, I didn't take 2 days off a week ago. Don't pile on that I took 2 days off a week ago. I'm taking 2 days.
Yeah, okay. I won't pile on because I need McClay Kid's number from you because I'm trying to get a free round at Tetherow when the Austrian guy comes into town next month.
Not gonna happen.
Oh, okay.
Can't get. He asked for not to give this number out.
He did not.
He did. He said specifically, do not, whatever you do, don't give my number out.
No, just tell him it was just to a guy who used to do the golf show with Sean Crew at 710.
He'll say, who?
No, he'll remember that. We interviewed him there too. You're not the only big shot that interviewed David.
Who is that? Are you excited? It's college football week. More importantly, it's Cougar football week, Jim Moore.
I am excited. I was talking to Stevie and Mikey about it, and it sounds like Zevi's not a lock to be the quarterback.
I got a feeling he may not be.
Is there some kid from Rutgers who's a left-handed kid that is real mobile and they shifty and they like him?
Well, that's Shepard from Rutgers. It's and then Duggars from Pitt.
Oh, Duggar's the one that
Duggar's the one. Duggar's the one.
Stevie thinks it's going to be Duggar.
Yeah, I got a feeling it's not going to be Zevi. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lock. I just think there's a different skill set. They like quarterbacks that are a little bit more mobile. It fits in their offense. They like their quarterbacks to run, and Duggar fits that. Now, I mean, he has like zero experience. But whatever. I mean, just go.
How'd we get a kid from Pitt?
He went into the transfer portal.
No, I know, but so we got kids from Pitt and Rutgers.
Just whatever. They go in the portal and they move on. So.
Do we got a barbecue place that gave him money?
Miss Hattie, was it Miss Hattie's barbecue? I'm not sure. I'm sure what it is. Hey, Cougar Collective, join the 1890 Club today. CougarCollective.org.
It was great being back in Pullman. Not this past weekend, the weekend before. I mean, the Lentil Festival was going on. They had the Lentil Festival parade.
And who doesn't like the Lentil Festival? There's not a person in this world that does not like the Lentil Festival.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. We play Idaho, Saturday night?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was watching the game, Iowa State and Kansas State from Dublin, and then Hawaii, Stanford. I was watching that game. It's just, I love college football more than the NFL. I just do.
That's okay to say. There's nothing wrong with saying that you do.
God, I love college football. And then this week, Lee Corso is making his last pick on Saturday on college football game day. And I love watching game day. I'm not so sure about McAfee and the over the top stuff he's doing, but still I'm as excited as you that college football's back.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm with you. I enjoy it more than the NFL. I do as well. So you and I are in lockstep on that one. I've always liked college football more than the NFL. I mean, we're in the minority because most people, NFL is king, but yeah, I'm excited to watch them this week. 7:00 on the new network for the Pac-12, the CW. Do we get the Yammer? Is the Yammer back on CW for us? Did we get him?
I hope so.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Michael Bumpus, he'll be there.
All the heavy hitters.
Yeah,
they're on the classic home of college football, the CW network. The Puppies will be playing. Who do they open up with? Colorado State.
Yeah.
8:00 on the Big Ten Network. Hey, did you see this? Here's our preview of the Huskies. Did you see the story coming out of Tucson?
No, I did not.
Oh, come on. This is right in our wheelhouse. I had a listener.
Something kind of shady that Jedd Fisch did?
No. I had a listener send this to me. Well, who was it? I'm going to go back and find it. Justin Christensen. Thank you, Justin Christensen. You can follow Justin on X at avalanche_jam. Javier, he sent me a tweet from Javier Morales. Oh, what am I doing?
Is he the guy that didn't like Jedd Fisch? Who was that big booster that was just We had a handshake agreement, and you violated that. I'm never rooting for you again. What was that guy's name?
No,
Remember that?
That was Roberto. No, that was Humberto. Humberto did not like Jedd Fisch anymore and said, done. Oh, Javier Morales is a reporter, and he confirmed, he goes, I've just confirmed with Justin Spears of the Arizona Daily Star that Jedd Fisch's wife and daughters have moved back to Tucson. You don't say. Who could have ever predicted that? Oh, I don't know.
Hey, honey, you can have the rain and traffic. We'll go back to the desert.
We did a year and a half ago. She was not long for the days of Seattle. Was Mrs. Fisch?
Oh God, I'd be that dick at the news conference, sitting there.
Oh, Jedd,
like, Jim Moore from Puck Sports. Is there any truth to this story coming out of Tucson that your wife and daughter have moved back to the desert, Coach? Yeah,
Coach. Unbelievable.
He's sitting there expecting questions about Colorado State and the game plan, Damon Williams.
Was a no-brainer that was going to happen, Jim. You knew that was going to happen. That she was gonna move back. So now,
yeah, but don't you think it's just a part-time thing?
Would you rather live in
Tucson?
Tucson?
Who would move back to Tucson in August?
I don't know. Maybe she's tired of the traffic. Maybe she's tired of I-5 being shut down every freaking weekend for something. God, I mean, I sent you the picture the other day. I live in Ballard. I went to Northgate. Northgate, like mall-ish, whatever. Everyone knows where Northgate is.
In the middle of the night, it would take you 10 minutes.
The Dick's Sporting Goods. It's I don't know, 3.5 miles. I don't know what it is. 40 minutes. 40 minutes to get over there. It's terrible.
Yeah. There's a thing you can do called moving. You could move.
Yeah, you could, Jim. You could.
So quit your complaining about it.
Okay.
Seattle's always going to be your hometown.
That's true. Hey, I'll put this up there for everyone to see. There it is. You got this in the mail. I got this in the mail. Big thanks to longtime sports reporter Bud Withers. He has written a book, Too Good to Be Through. The Apple Cup is distinctive in peril behind the Husky Cougar rivalry with new reporting. It's a book on the Apple Cup, on the history of the Apple Cup, written by the one and only, one of our dear friends, and one of the best in the business, Bud Withers. Go check it out and find this book anywhere where you get your books. Big old Bud Withers, man.
I believe it's Amazon and Barnes & Noble, available September 1st. You can probably get your orders in now. And I can guarantee, knowing Bud, that there will be information in there that you've never seen before. And so I'm excited to read it. And I'm especially excited to read about the 92 Apple Cup and the 97 Apple Cup. Some of the ones where the Huskies won, I probably, Evelyn Wood my way through those chapters.
Just skip.
Evelyn, like people are going to be like, Evelyn Wood, who the hell is, why'd he mention Evelyn Wood? There's some people out there that'll go, God, Evelyn Wood, that was that speed reading thing. Yeah.
I didn't know, but hey, I'm with you. I mean, hey, whatever.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know who Boone Kirkman was either.
I did not know who Boone Kirkman was, but then I was happy to, do so much research that we did on Friday, you, me, and Egan, about learning who Boone Kirkman was. And then he's the Melrose Grill.
Yeah, you like the Melrose Grill connection there.
Because I love the Melrose Grill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. What else you got? You got anything
else? That's it.
You want me to opine on the Seahawks roster moves or anything?
No, what do we care?
Yeah, you get Rob Staton for that.
You want the Seahawks roster surprises?
Are we concerned about, MVS not making the squad? Or
I think it's odd that he played as much as he did against the Packers when they held out everybody else. So, yeah I think the fact that he played all that much would tell me that they're considering getting rid of him.
All right. You feel better about your Milroe bet after that performance?
Oh, he had a shaky performance. He a nice touchdown pass to Cody White, though, late. He'll be fine. Yeah. I think I'm going to lose the Milroe bet for sure.
Yeah. Well,
for sure. 100%.
All right.
All right. Sorry that we got late. We got started late. You never.
No, I enjoyed that.
I know you did.
You don't have to apologize for that. Made my day.
We'll see you on Wednesday show is gonna be a little different. We're gonna pre-record our show, but the show will be out on Wednesday. Thank you so much for doing that. I've got to take my sister to the airport, so thank you for changing plans there on Wednesday and making that work out. And then a reminder: no show Friday because I'm taking some time off. Thursday, Friday out
again.
Shut up. You're out all the time. You've been out for your entire life.
I'm 68 years old. I'm retired. That's what you're supposed to be doing when you're 68.
All right. I'll see you Wednesday. Go Cougs.
Okay. Love you, Puck. Go Cougs.
Love you too. There he is, Jim Moore, the go-to guy with us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Brought to you by a Clean Streak. Also, Brotherton Cadillac. Big thanks to both Clean Streak and Brotherton Cadillac for bringing you Jim Moore every single week. All right. As we got the show started late, and that's my bad. We catch up with Bill Krueger every single Monday talking Mariners baseball, and because I forgot to edit it to start the show, that's why we were late. So we got to get to Bill Krueger, and then after Bill Krueger, Rob Staton's going to drop on by from SeahawksDraftBlog.com. Rob's back for another year talking Seahawks football. We'll start it after Labor Day, our weekly thing, but I wanted to just catch up with him, his thoughts on the upcoming season and perspective there on the Seahawks roster. But Bill Krueger, we talk Cal, pitching staff, the road trip, coming back, good series against the A's, covered all with the one and only Bill Krueger. But first, let's get a word from a pair of our sponsors, John Howie Steak, also Georgetown Brewery.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic-style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
Bill Krueger now with us, Old School Baseball Podcast. Of course, you can find that wherever you find all your wonderful podcasts. And, of course, you can follow him on social media at @oldschool_MLB. Mr. Krueger, it's another week talking Mariners baseball with you. How was your week? Everything good?
Yeah. I mean, it was obviously a tough travel stretch there for the Mariners. I think the deck was pretty stacked against them, going back to the dog days and having a Little League event right in the middle of a trip. I think that was challenging, but back home at T-Mobile Park and playing their style of baseball, a fan base that's right behind them, and a good series to start the homestand.
What was it that was your takeaway, especially that series against the Phillies? Let's dream big and say, hey, man, they can maybe see them there in a few months. What was the challenge going back to that Phillies series, and where did they stumble on that one?
Well, I think they just they ran out of gas. I mean, I think that the trip kind of sucked it out of them. Another trip with inclement weather on the East Coast, and then having to insert Game 3 of the Mets series, going to Williamsport, traveling during the day, and then going to Philadelphia and catching a Phillies team that's playing really well, really swinging the bat well. I think from what I can see, I mean, you can make the argument they're the best team in baseball. I think it's a fair assessment, and catch them really at the wrong time. And the dog days of summer definitely caught up with the Mariners. So starting pitching could not hold. And offensively, they struck out like in an incredible rate, giving up 29 runs in 3 games. What do you point your finger at? You point your finger at everything. I mean, if I look at their starting pitching, basically what the Phillies did was they took the fastball away. And when you take the fastball away from a team that basically, that's the calling card of their starting staff, they got a problem. And we've talked a little bit about this. The idea that there's a plan B in pitching, the idea that you're maybe trying to locate a fastball to try to get, less than solid contact, use your defense a little bit more instead of trying to go out and huff and puff and try to blow the whole team away. That was not the plan that was going to work. And then offensively, they ran into a buzzsaw of pitching and really struggled to put the ball in play. The strikeout numbers were pretty horrific.
Yeah. And
they did not play good defense. So there's nothing really to point at that series. You kind of scrub it,
just all
and
of
call
it.
it good, or call it bad.
Just all of it. It was just an ass kicking in so many different ways. I mean, it's very rare you see teams get 20 plus hits in one game in a series, let alone.
And they got power and guys that can put it in play. Yeah. You know what does show up? Left-handed starting pitching. The Phillies, I think, will have a little more trouble. I don't know what the numbers are, but you take away Schwarber and Harper and some of their other left-hand hitters, you throw a left-hand pitcher at them. I think that probably might be a good answer for the Phillies. The Mariners don't have one.
And they struggled. I mean, the hitters really struggled against all those lefties that they faced.
Yeah, and that's been a problem. You take T-Mobile Park away and then have to go in and face left-hand hitting. I mean, it's there's an art to it. And as a starting pitcher, you have to be able to do some things that they're not doing very well right now, and or they haven't done all season long. There really isn't. Only Wu is the only guy that can really handle left-hand hitters in that starting staff. You look at the numbers.
What is it? It has to be more complicated or more to it. And maybe you're going to say, no, it's not. The starters for this staff, their struggles at home, or excuse me, on the road versus home. But what leads to their ERAs ballooning so much once they go on the road? And you just mentioned the only one that really has not affected has been Wu.
Well, I think they're going to have higher ERAs on the road than they are at home. T-Mobile Park is a haven for pitching, and it's pretty well documented. And you can throw a lot of high fastballs and give up a lot of long fly balls between left center and right center and live to see another day. And then you can play the swing and miss game at the top line, not worrying about the home run. Because we've talked about it, Jason. The whiff, I hate that term. The swing and miss at the top line is a tantalizing spot. Because of the big strike zone, there's a lot of miss up there, and not too many guys can handle it up there. But you can play at that line, and you can strike people out, and you'll eat your pitch count. But sometime you might run into a bunch of guys that can handle it. And then the 3-run homer is always lurking up there. 3 hits to score a run, Jace, and maybe a double play is in there somewhere, but that's not very sexy, and it's not very sabermetric. So down and away is boring. It doesn't swing and miss. It doesn't do all the things that the Harvard grads say that we should be trying to do. So therefore, why go down and away? All I can tell you is the greatest left-hander of all time that spent some intimate time with me at a great point in my career, Sandy Koufax, told me that down and away is where all the easy outs live. I take that as a premium comment from someone that's very smart and extremely successful. I would take that to heart. I would say sabermetric people. This is what Sandy Koufax say. What do you have to say about that?
So the difference you see is them living at that top line. They get away with it just to simplify it. They get away with it at home, but not so much on the road when they play in these smaller parks.
Correct. And the parks play smaller and faster. Temperatures are different. It's much more humid. There's a whole litany of things. We've talked about left-hand hitting returning to baseball after a couple-year hiatus. They finally started to add back left-handers where the rover, the second baseman, is not standing in right center anymore. So teams are advantaging that and getting more lefties back in their lineup and stacking the deck a little bit more.
Well, it was a tough road trip for them. They come back home. They didn't lose too much ground. They're in the American League.
That's the good news. Yeah.
West, because Houston was falling apart right now. They still trailed the Astros now by 2 games. They take 2 out of 3 from the A's to start this homestand that includes 3 with the Padres, which begins here on Monday. They had a chance to sweep this series. I guess they had a chance to lose 2 out of 3. You can look at it a bunch of different ways. Bottom line is they took 2 out of 3, and you're right. They got back to kind of playing the baseball that they normally can play. They had the blowout there on Sunday. But, the biggest storyline of the weekend, the biggest storyline has been all season long has been Cal Raleigh. He did it again, 48, and then number 49. He ties Salvador Perez, and then he passes Salvador Perez for the most home runs by a catcher. I just want you to put it into perspective, a guy that has spent so many years, playing the game, longtime major leaguer, longtime guy covering the game, talking about what he's been able to accomplish offensively from that catcher position.
It's sort of beyond belief. The wear and tear that a catcher deals with on a regular basis is more than anybody can sort of imagine. The bumps and bruises, getting back there in a squat position game after game. And this is a guy that never wants to be out of the lineup. And he rarely is out of the lineup. When he doesn't catch, he's going to be the DH most of the time. Has an incredible work ethic. And all those things we knew about him before this season. But suddenly the power, which we saw, he hit 30, 35 home runs. It's not like it was coming out of nowhere. But to actually be able to sort of shut the door on some of the swing and miss in his game and then really start to get behind the baseball like he did until he hit some tough stretches here the second half where I think fatigue caught up with him. And, he got caught up a little bit in playing into the pitcher's hands, the pitchers that had know-how, that weren't going to give him something, a first pitch strike, and chase him up and chase him down and pitch him backwards and all that kind of thing. But he's a smart cookie. All of this is just sort of, it's beyond remarkable because now we've put Perez in the rearview mirror, we'll say Raleigh has, with a month to go. With a month to go. He's got Mickey Mantle in the switch hit record and Ken Griffey Jr.'s team record right in his sights. And I think it's, we knew that he was going to pass Perez. We knew that. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that we thought, even though he had that 64 homer pace going for a while, it's dropped off a little bit. The Mickey Mantle record and the Griffey record, we weren't thinking that was going to happen, but there's a really good chance that's going to happen. Now, does he chase down Judge's record? I think 12 homers. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, or 12 or 13, whatever 13, the number is. Yeah. But I just want to sort of, again, emphasize the demand the pitch and the position asks of a player, and the way that he handles that, his leadership qualities, his toughness, the comprehensive approach that he takes to the game, no stone unturned. He's very much like Edgar Martinez in preparation, and he does it in a humble, aw shucks kind of way. Mm-hmm. There's so much to like there. I just love the guy. Yeah. I want him to stay healthy. I want him to have an incredible season. I want him to lead this team to the playoffs and the World Series and get his just due. Now, the question becomes, and you're probably leading me to this question, can he be the MVP? I don't know. It used to be that you had to win 20 games to be this AL or NL Cy Young Award winner. We put that away. Now the question becomes, can you hit under 250 and be the MVP? That, I think, is really the question, right?
Well, it's obviously going to be an uphill climb for him, to win it, especially with, the way the Judge has played this year and what the Yankees are and who the Yankees are and all of that. I think out here, I think you have to take everything into account. I think baseball can't have it both ways when it comes to average. Can't have it both ways. Can't tell everyone it doesn't matter and then hold it against someone
right
when their average isn't good. Like that, you can't have it both ways. So you got to pick a side on that. But I just, I think we're going to be biased out here because we're in Seattle. But I think if you just take a step back and just look at the position they play and everything, I think you got to take into account everything. And I think if they end up winning the division and Yankees don't, they get in a wild card. I think I think the team aspect should push it in the favor there of Cal. And you talked about him being humble. He just had a great quote after the game. And they were asking him a bunch of questions about, the season and passing Perez. And he deflects all of it. Even in the curtain call, he goes out there for like 2 seconds.
Right.
And Wilson after the game's like, I wish he would have stayed out there longer. But his answer to the question of, put this, what you've accomplished in perspective. And he said, quote, the hardest part is just trying to stay focused on the main goal. And that's winning baseball games and helping this team get to where we need to get to. And obviously doing this stuff has been awesome and amazing. But at the same time, it's more focusing on the other guys in that room, focusing on the pitchers, focusing on the team goals rather than myself.
It's very vanilla. You're not going to get a lot of fun quotes out of him or a lot of expression. No. But the unfortunate thing is if you could be a fly on the wall or if they could somehow have a big boom mic that swings over the mound when he's talking to a pitcher or some of these times when you see him and he's pretty animated and he's using his hands and he's talking, I think you'd get a lot more of a clue about who this guy is. I think he's into the game. I think he's really smart. I think he's got a lot to say, and it's very pointed. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm not saying he's negative on pitchers. I think he just knows the game, and he cares deeply about winning, about the team, and about his pitching staff. And if we could hear those conversations, I think we'd be even more enamored with him.
Yeah, I think he's.
But you're not going to get that.
No, I just think he embodies everything that you want as an athlete.
Yeah. I'm that guy. So that's why Johnny Bench is falling in love with this guy. You think Johnny Bench is doing that just because he's posted numbers? No, he watches how he carries himself. It's very much the humble way that athletes of his generation carried themselves.
Mm-hmm. His classmate, his draft classmate, Logan Gilbert, goes out there. He's coming off that that terrible start in Philadelphia. And it's cool that they accomplish, these feats on the same day on Sunday, right? He passes Perez, and then Logan Gilbert goes out there and sets a career high in strikeouts with 13. They are very much, Bill, connected at the hip, these two. Same draft class, roommates throughout the minors, have come up and have been, these fixtures for this organization. That was a great start for Logan. Just to bounce back, because that Philly one, and Cal talked about it afterwards, that can shake you up. That can shake you up how he performed on the road against Philadelphia. So it was good to see him bounce back the way he did against the A's.
Yeah, he really labored. That's the thing about pitching, starting pitching, is that you can be the best pitcher in the game and you're going to get your lunch. You're going to get knocked out early. It happens to all of them, the best of them. The Randy Johnsons, the Pedro Martinez, the Roger Clemenses of the world. They all have gotten their head beat in. It's what you do next. You rally back. And I think that's why I tire of pitch count. I just tire of it, because these are the things that happen. You have a game like that. You throw 60 some odd pitches, and guess what happens? You take a collective breath. You gain a greater resolve. You take a refresh, and then the next start, you're going to be great. And that's exactly what happened. He was crisper. His resolve drove him to reach higher and be better, because he's got great confidence. He's got incredible stuff. And he dominated the A's. It wasn't even fair. I mean, his crisp fastball gained a couple of notches, and the split was falling off the table. He had slider and curveball, mostly slider, and did whatever he wanted with it, and he overmatched him. It just overmatched him. I don't want to use this as a point of criticism, and maybe I am, and that's just my own way. But, I would love to see him in that situation be a little bit more willing to use the big part of the strike zone and the big part of the park. In a game like that, you'd like to see him carry 7, maybe a little bit more, because the bullpen appearances tally up. They tally up. But to his credit, he is a strikeout machine. His ability to get down the mound, his deception, the arsenal of pitches that can make you miss are awesome. And here's a guy that came to the big leagues with a pitch. He had a fastball, high fastball. He had, as I called it, an American Legion breaking ball and a circle change that wasn't very good. And look where he is today. It speaks to his aptitude and work ethic.
Yeah. Well, it was great. Awesome to see. Awesome to see, because he needed it. It was cool on that day, especially. Yeah. With Cal reaching the milestones that he did. A thought or two on they reinstate, or they don't reinstate, but Victor Robles is back. Not surprising that Dylan Moore was DFA'd, and just Dylan Moore, it was weird because he started off the season so great.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, he carried the team offensively there for a brief stretch of time. But though he got into that slump, and it clearly was just he couldn't get out of it, and it was obviously the move to make there for the Mariners.
Yeah, he just lost his confidence, and confidence is such a huge thing. And then when you play sporadically, it's hard to find it when you're not playing all the time. He made major contributions to his team over the years. A versatile player that got a Gold Glove for that, and had stretches where he could really hit. A couple of times when Crawford went down, he stepped in and played some pretty good short and carried our team, the team a couple different stretches early in seasons, last couple seasons. So he's a really good player. You have to hold out hope that there's going to be another opportunity for Dylan. It shouldn't be one trip and fall and that's it for him. But a really good player that's unfortunately, the odd man out in this scenario. So to get Robles back and a little bit of hard to understand what the plan is for Robles, other than they knew that he wasn't. Obviously, we didn't know when he was going to serve his suspension or when it was going to be, when the hearing was going to be, and we still don't know that.
No.
So might as well plug him in. There were 2 left-handed pitchers this series. Going to be a lefty tonight, so going to play him again. Obviously, a player that has a lot of ability, that had infused a lot of energy and talent into this lineup prior to his injury, and can do some big things and give them a lot, particularly offensively. Hopefully he finds it. He looked okay. I mean, he hasn't played much, and he didn't have a lot of at-bats in AAA, so you can't expect too much.
Hey, going back to the bullpen for a second, since the All-Star break, Munoz just hasn't been bad by any means.
Yeah.
But he just hasn't looked, I don't know. He's been shaky. He's been allowing a lot of base runners on via hits or walks. He just hasn't been very few 1, 2, 3 innings for Andres Munoz.
Yeah.
What are you noticing or seeing?
He struggles with lefties. He does. He struggles with lefties. He doesn't know how to throw. He kind of tries to backdoor his slider to lefties. It just isn't the same pitch. And his fastball command is a little sketchy. It always has been. It's a little bit more of, I've got 99 and I'm going to pitch with my slider. And then he gets lefties, and he struggles with lefties, and has put the ball in the wrong spot a few times in the loop zone and got hurt. But control. We talk a lot about closers, and one of the big attributes of a great closer is no walks. He wants to be a great closer. We'll just put all the other things aside. You just can't walk people. If you don't walk people, you're going to save games. Yeah. You're going to save games. So 3 hits to score a run. Okay. So, and they're clearly, they used him the other night in the ninth. They didn't want to hang around and put the man on second with him out there. They wanted to give him his inning right there and then to see if they could close the door on the game, which they weren't able to do. But, it's a work in progress. The guy's got a lot of east-west in his delivery. It tends to fall toward first base, tends to fly open. He's got to keep his weight over the rubber, keep his front shoulder closed. These are things that are pretty much fundamental to being a great pitcher, and that's what undoes him. Is he flies open a little too quick, and that's when he hangs the slider, and that's when his fastball command struggles. Now, we saw him throw a couple of changeups his last time out. They were pretty good. That'd be a good pitch for lefties. But it really comes down to commanding 2 pitches and staying straight toward the hitter. He's got great makeup. He's a hell of a guy. He's had an incredible season. He's had an incredible career with the Mariners. His second All-Star appearance this year. He can be a dominating presence out there. Just the walks. He's got to clean up the walks.
And lastly, speaking of bullpen, we talked about it a little bit that last week, but Emerson Hancock making this change now to the bullpen. What challenges are in store for him in making that switch?
Well, I just have to have the right mind about it. Baseball's a little different today. The phone doesn't ring in a sense of urgency. Everybody kind of has their time to get up and warm up and be ready, because we're pre-scripting the game a little bit more than baseball used to. So he shouldn't be struggling to get ready. The question is that you have to be able to ready to throw 2 pitches for sure. Whether you can throw 3, that's another thing. It's about attitude. If he has a great attitude, says, this is my chance to help this team again and to be in the big leagues. And maybe it shines a light on me in a different way. And I think this team could really use them. I think they need help in the middle of the game. Otherwise, trying to keep Brash in a place where you don't abuse him. And I think we've talked at length about what I think about the other 3 righties. I think they've had great moments. You can't deny Bizzardo's season. He's had a great season. The same with Vargas. Vargas is a little scattery, but it's a great story. Mm-hmm. And Lecamina has had some good moments early, but really struggled of late. So they need help in even games, 4th, 5th, 6th inning, slightly behind even games. And I am of the belief that why can't you take a guy like Emerson Hancock and let him pitch more than one inning. I mean, what is there a rule against doing that as a reliever? You can throw more than one inning. I mean, it was like the other day when Vargas pitched 3 innings, it was like I thought he was an Iron Man. Look at this. They like did a whole board on him on his 3 innings. Like, he pitched 3 innings. Can you believe it? It's like he's won in Hawaii again. Another triathlon for Vargas. I mean, give me a break. Come on. And that's why starter in that position is so good. I think Bryce Miller is going to be an ace in the hole. They get to the playoffs, they can stick him in the middle. Yeah. And he, I think, even more so, could be dominant in that spot. I really think. And again, it'll come down to, I think at that point, as long as they don't take him out of the rotation now, because if he can, and he pitched decent the other day. That was a tough spot to pitch your first game. Hot park, hot team. He had some pretty good moments. To change the subject. But yeah, I think those two guys can really help this team.
There he is, host of the Old School Podcast, Old School Baseball Podcast, where you can find on any podcast platform, Spotify, Apple, anywhere and everywhere. William Krueger, Bill Krueger. Also, tell them what you got up on social media there at oldschool_MLB.
Well, I carry a fairly sporadic, but hopefully a little more consistent commentary on X, where I talk a little bit, maybe 3 or 4 times a week about the Mariners after games, or at least the next day, and with the blessing of the Puck podcast, you'll also find that dropped into my Spotify, which is linked onto oldschool_MLB. Please come and visit, and hopefully I'll give you a little something that maybe you hadn't thought about.
Well, we enjoy having you on every single Monday talking Mariners baseball. Thank you, Bill. Enjoy the week. We'll see you next Monday.
Okay.
In case you miss any of the interview there or podcast with Bill Krueger, Old School Baseball, you can find it up on your favorite podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, for your listening pleasure. If you want to watch, of course, Bill Krueger's weekly appearance, it's up on the Daily Puck Drop podcast, out on YouTube there as well. Everything going up there, right around noon every single day, getting you caught up on all things Mariners. And we'll have Bill on. This is where we get the crazy couple of months here. So much stuff that we do daily in September and October. We'll continue to have all of our baseball guys as we now mix in our NFL guys there as well. And we're so happy that we get to bring back one of our NFL guys. We were planning on taping something today or tomorrow, but then I'm like, how about we just do it live? Today's been all thrown out because of how stupid I was with the video or the interview earlier with Bill Krueger. But we're happy to announce that Rob Staton from Seahawks Draft Blog, SeahawksDraftBlog.com, is back for another year. We've somehow convinced him to do it. I'm not sure how, because he doesn't need us. That's right. But he loves doing it. Loves talking Seahawks. And he's with us right now. Hi, Rob. Good to see your smiling face again. How are you?
Great, thanks. Yeah, very much looking forward to getting over to Seattle for week 1, which is coming along. So in 9 days, 10 days, I'll be in Seattle. 10 days, I will be there.
How long will you be here for?
So I arrive. I land in Seattle about lunchtime on the Thursday before the opening game, and then staying out for the Seahawks game. I'm going to a Mariners game on the Monday, and then I think I fly back Tuesday.
In and out. Good for you. Good for in and out trip. Well, is your country celebrating Tommy Fleetwood right now? Because I know I am. Tommy Fleetwood won me a lot of money this weekend, so I'm a big fan of Tommy Fleetwood. Thank God for him.
Yeah, well, he's very well liked over here, and Twitter was awash with people. I never knew so many of my friends knew Tommy Fleetwood. They're all speaking as if they knew him. How pleased they were, how emotional they were for him. I never realized that he was such a good friend of theirs.
Yeah. Well, we're not here to have you on to talk about golf and Tommy Fleetwood. We have you on every single week to talk Seahawks football. And it's been a few months since we last talked to you, probably right after the draft. We're through training camp. We're through the preseason. I'll just open it up to you. You take it wherever you want. Thoughts on where the Seahawks are at right now as they get ready for week 1 against San Francisco?
I think they're in a great place. I think we've all been encouraged by the performance of the offensive line in that game against the Chiefs. And while there's all the caveats of it being a preseason game, that was the kind of offensive line performance a lot of us have wanted to see for a while. They were running the ball very well. I think this is going to be an offense with Clint Kubiak that will make life quite easy for Sam Darnold. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that he will not have to play any hero ball, that he can just do what he needs to do. And then all of that will complement a defense that will take another step under Mike McDonald in year 2. So I'm feeling very optimistic. I think the Seahawks are going to win the NFC West. I still think there are some teams in the NFC who are just better than the Seahawks right now, which will mean that although the Seahawks may well win the division, I don't anticipate them making a Super Bowl or anything. But I think they're on the right track.
What makes you confident that you think they'll win the NFC West?
I think it's a combination of the moves they've made this offseason. The offensive line performance obviously is a big thing there, because if that improves, then the team's going to take a giant leap forward. They all seem to be very connected as a team. Everything, there's been no drama during camp, none of this holdout stuff, nobody dissatisfied with a contract. Everybody just seems to be locked in. And then you look at the NFC West, and I think the Cardinals, to me, I never knew there was more than a couple of Cardinals fans online. But apparently they are, because they keep coming to my videos and saying that I'm underrating them. But I just think the Cardinals are a pretty meh team for me. You know, they can beat anybody on their day, but they can lose to anybody on their day, and they're probably going to be like 9-8 or 8-9 again, and be in that kind of range. The Rams, the back injury for Matt Stafford has to be a concern, in particular because his left tackle is also out. So even if he plays, protection could be an issue for him. So I think that could hamper the Rams. I don't think the Rams are as good as maybe some in the national media think anyway. It's easy to forget they had the same record as the Seahawks last year. And the Niners, to me, feel like the Seahawks in 2017. It just feels a little bit like they had their great run. They didn't win a Super Bowl when they're at the best. I think they're on the way down the ski slope now, having got to the top. And I think they may well take a step back. So a combination of feeling enthusiastic about the Seahawks, and I think some of those other teams in the division taking a step backwards.
How do we temper our enthusiasm with what we've seen from the offensive line? Because I watched, take the Packers game out for a second and then focus in on the Raiders and the Chiefs game, and I go, God, that's what we've been wanting, and that's what it's supposed to look like. And the holes are gaping, and they're running over their left guard like on their rookie almost every play, and he's just moving people around left and right. And I know it's a preseason, and I know they've got backups in there. But the alternative would have been that they didn't do any of that, and they look terrible, and people are like, uh-oh, this is not going to be good. So I know it's not going to be that good, but God, does it excite you how they have run the football and what it's looked like, Rob, in those 2 preseason games in particular. It's looked awesome.
Yeah, it's looked fantastic. And the running the ball the way they did against the Chiefs. And although Chris Jones wasn't playing, everybody else was kind of playing for the Chiefs, I think. So you could be very enthusiastic about that. I think what I would say is when the season begins proper in a couple of weeks, the line is not going to pitch a shutout. They are going to have some moments. Gray Zabel will have his moments where he makes a mistake and gets beat because he's a rookie. Anthony Bradford is not suddenly going to turn into Trey Smith overnight. There's going to be the odd moment here and there. Jalen Sundell, I think, I thought his performance against the Chiefs was absolutely first class. But let's see how he plays as an every week starter in the NFL. There may be some growing pains there. Charles Cross has had a bit of an injury. I think the one player who I'm completely optimistic about, no concerns, think he's destined to be one of the best right tackles in the league, is A. Lucas. But the line will not play as well as it did against the Chiefs every week. But nobody's asking them to be the best defensive line in the NFL. We just need them not to be the worst. We need them to be somewhere in the middle at best.
Can we put that on a T-shirt? We're not asking you to be the best offensive line in the NFL. We're asking you to not be the worst. Exactly. That should be the motto of the 2025 Seahawks offensive line right there. I think you just nailed it.
And I think the talent they have and the way that they performed in preseason gives you cause for optimism that they won't just be that they're the 25th best or the 20th. Maybe they can be the 12th best defensive line, and that'd be great. That's kind of all we've been hoping for. So I'm very, very positive about that.
Yeah, it's just, and I wonder now maybe he would have taken the role with the competition, but obviously with the Oluwatimi injury, it opened the door for Jalen Sundell, and he burst through it, and it's not looking back. I mean, that's his job. He's taken it from Olu, and maybe that would have been the case no matter what had they truly had a competition, but obviously with the injury to him, and Bradford's played well, and yeah, it's just for the first time in a long time, and it's amazing how you get one key piece and a guy like Gray Zabel, how much it can kind of calm things down and solidify, that offensive line. I've been just really impressed of how, again, I'm not watching practice. I read what all those guys, talk about, but I do think his relationship that he has with Charles Cross already, just sitting around Cross and soaking it all in and being a sponge and learning how he's learned and how he's got along with his teammates, especially on the line, and just how well he's performed in those first two games. I mean, minus, I think, the first play of the first preseason game, but he just looks like he's the real deal. And I know things will change in week one. He's going to see things he's never seen before, and he's going to get overmatched and overpowered. But so far, he's passed everything. And
the great thing about this is a young line across the board. So for the first time, I think probably since I started following the Seahawks, which is a long time ago now, they have a chance to have a line that could grow together, that could all sign second contracts, that could all build some chemistry, because that's been part of the issue for the Seahawks. It's, we'll have a different center every year. We'll try a different right guard every year. The musical chairs nature of the offensive line in Seattle has not helped, alongside the lack of talent at times. And it is amazing how, like you say, they've been able to bring in Gray Zabel, and then you get a proper coaching staff in. A coaching staff that have been there, have done it, have got the T-shirt in the NFL, not just the offensive line coach, the offensive coordinator who's an NFL lifer through his dad and everything like that. The support staff that Kubiak has brought around him. It's not, like I say, everybody on that offensive staff felt like a great hire. And you notice the difference there. The difference is just incredible. So I'd love nothing more than to be sat in Lumen Field in week one, just enjoying them run the ball down the Niners' throats and get a couple of hundred rushing yards.
It's a refreshing way to watch football, because it's just more of a style that I watched as a kid, so as a football fan growing up. You go back to that Chiefs game, and I think it was, I don't know, very early in the game. One of the first few plays, and you're watching a Robbie Oots bust through the offensive line and just smack a linebacker in the face. And I'm like, it's, football is taking a lot away. The fullback has been the guy that's been removed the most. And I enjoy watching that. And he's a fantastic athlete. I mean, later in that drive, he, goes out in the flat and catches the pass and turns upfield. And I think one of the greatest moments of the preseason was on that play. He caught the pass, turns upfield, didn't allow the contact to come to him. He initiates the contact on the DB, and the reaction of the sideline to his physicality, it was everything of how much I think even the defensive players can feel about watching him. They love that. There's a definite change how they play offense. The tone of physicality than they were last year.
No, without a doubt. I mean, they've been a finesse team, and the weird thing is they've constantly claimed they want to be the opposite of a finesse team. They want to be this running team. They want to be physical. They want to be the bully. And then you'd watch them play, and you'd think, this is not a bully. This is finesse. This is throwing the ball all the time. This isn't beating anybody up in the trenches. This is often seeing the opposite happen. The Seahawks are the ones being beaten up in the trenches. So they now seem to have that style, that identity. The great thing is if they can make this work, this is a style that will help them, I would imagine, reestablish some kind of home field advantage and be better there at home. But it's also a style that travels well. So it's not like you're going to be great at home and then you're going to go on the road and suffer. If you can be a tough, physical running team and you can play good defense, you win a lot of football games. And then you've got, and I guess it's going to come down to the quarterback as to how far, your ceiling is going to be capped somewhat by that. But the encouraging thing is Kyle Shanahan and Clint Kubiak basically run a very similar, if not the same, offense. And Kyle Shanahan went to 2 Super Bowls with Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy behind center. Not Josh Allen, not Patrick Mahomes, not Lamar Jackson, not Joe Burrow. The 2 quarterbacks he had were good for him, and Brock Purdy's a good quarterback, but they weren't elite of the elite. Can the Seahawks create a similar environment for Sam Darnold to get them there? Can Sam Darnold get them there? Well, that remains to be seen, but I think they've got half a chance here of having a very good year.
Couple of concerns of mine, and I'm sure many people share this. Thoughts on the wide receiver room. I don't know what they're going to do with their roster spot. I thought it was telling that Valdez-Scantling played as much as he did in the 3rd preseason game. Maybe they just wanted to see him more, or that's usually reserved for guys who aren't going to make the team. So I think there obviously is a chance that he does not make the team. They go in a different direction there. But regardless of what happens with that, your thoughts and reaction to that room right now as it currently stands?
Yeah, I think if they'd have drafted Jackson Smith-Njigba this year in the 1st round, I think people would possibly feel differently about it, because it would feel like, okay, Metcalf and Lockett left, and they've brought in a top 20 pick at receiver. But because the sort of anticipated needing to have a different look to the receiver room maybe a couple of years early, I think we've kind of it's almost like familiarity's breeding a little bit of contempt there. Jackson Smith-Njigba is an incredibly talented young receiver, and now is going to get the chance to show he can be a number 1. Not a classic number 1 in the old school style, but Justin Jefferson's not a classic number 1. I'm not suggesting that JSN's going to be him, but that it's somebody who can be like a very, very productive, excellent receiver leading the way. I think Cooper Kupp is the ideal person to have in this system as a second receiver. I've always been so high. I mean, I gave Torrey Horton a late 2nd round grade, and they got him in the 5th. And I think it was Nicky Manwari who said that Seahawks may have got the steal of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep thinking that yes, you can get those top receivers in round 1, of course, but there's always a guy, isn't there, in round 4, round 5, round 6. Puka Nacua is a great example of that, round 5 pick, who just falls through the cracks, and you just think, why didn't we get him? And I've just got a feeling that Horton could be that. Now, he's injured at the moment. That's a worry. But if he can get healthy, then maybe he can be the 3rd guy. And then the comparison I keep going back to is Jake Bobo. And again, hopefully he's healthy after what happened in that.
Yeah, that was scary. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, what an absolute circus of a game that was, by the way.
I was wondering, why is he back there? Like, what are we doing? Like, he's going to be on the team. Why is he returning punts in this game? But I guess it's just a concussion. Hopefully I don't mean just, but hopefully he's okay from that.
Well, there's so many things I think were nonsensical about that game, but that was certainly one of them. And the thing with Bobo is he has the similar size, and Juwan Jennings in San Francisco had a near 1,000-yard season last year in 6 touchdowns. And Jennings ran a 4.71, and Bobo was in that kind of ballpark for speed, maybe a little slower. But a receiver like that can have a role in this offense. So I think that you've got a good number 1. I think you've got a very experienced. I think Kupp has got the bit between his teeth. I think he wants to prove a few people wrong here. And then I think with Horton, and then perhaps Bobo, and if Marques Valdez-Scantling can get his act together, I think you can cobble together the production of a 3rd or 4th receiver there.
Well, I'm excited to have you back on for another year. You are extremely busy, and but I know our audience and your audience appreciates it and all your hard work. We'll get started in earnest right after Labor Day. Get ready for that Niners and Seahawks game. And Rob, it's good to have you back on. It's good to talk Seahawks football. The next couple of months are gonna be crazy in Seattle with the Mariners going to hopefully the playoffs. Seahawks starting football. It's just a circus out here, and it's a good circus. But happy to have you back on for another year here on Puck Sports, and appreciate you always doing it. And we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Awesome. Thanks, Puck. Good to be back.
Yeah, there he is. Rob Staton, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. Did I say a couple weeks? Essentially next week, right? Yeah. As we get ready for the Seahawks and Niners game. But yeah, Rob will be back with us every single week talking Seahawks football. All right, we've got to, before we get on out of here, Quickly, in our other news segment, things that we missed throughout the day before we get to Hey, What the Puck. Not a lot going on other than Chinese Taipei won the first Little League World Series title since 1996. What's amazing for them, their 18th title. Jesus, it's the most of any country outside the U.S. Here's the other part about that's nuts about what they did. As they defeated the team from Nevada 7-0. They gave up 3 runs in the entire tournament. That's it. And it all came against Venezuela in one game. Other news, the Vikings have signed Carson Wentz, have traded Sam Howell to the Eagles, so Howell's back on the move. Vikings received a 2026 fifth-round pick and a 2027 seventh-round pick. Shedeur Sanders, very confident, says he's, no doubt I'm going to make the Browns team. There's talk about them keeping 4 quarterbacks. That's stupid. Joe Flacco's the starter. Sanders competing, of course, with Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel. It's expected that Pickett will be the backup, and then the battle between the third quarterback between Gabriel and Sanders. Gabriel overall has played better than Sanders. We'll see what happens there. Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer met with Micah Parsons yesterday after his behavior this weekend in a preseason game against the Falcons. Apparently, while he was watching the game, laying down on the medical table and didn't have his jersey on. And, of course, he continues to do the hold-in. And we'll see what the situation unfolds with Micah Parsons. John Schneider, give them what they want. Whatever they want to get Micah Parsons in a Seahawks uniform. Finally, Astros slugger Yordan Alvarez expected to be activated tomorrow for the Astros. He has not played since late April after injuring his hand. That's other news of stories that we missed throughout the day. Reminder, if you missed or any part of the Rob Staton podcast, that will be available as part of the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms and YouTube. So you can watch and listen to Rob Staton from earlier today, just like with Bill Krueger, Old School Baseball, and Jim Moore, who joins us on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. We wrap up the show with Hey, What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. Your restoration company lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services. Give them a call, 206-817-8917. Visit them at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Back to Tommy Fleetwood for just a quick second. I know everyone's not a golf fan, but what Tommy Fleetwood accomplished this weekend and yesterday, and he accomplished a lot for me personally and financially, it transcends all sports. Because what he did was he was labeled as a choker. And he had this moniker around him because he couldn't close. But he stayed positive. He held this belief in himself the whole time and never dissuaded of how he perceived himself as a golfer. And never let the heartbreak, which there had been plenty since he came on tour. And really recently, when he was on the cusp of his first PGA Tour victories a handful of times recently in the last month, and couldn't close the deal and lost the lead late in every single instance. And there was staring him down yesterday in the FedEx Cup Championship. He could probably feel the pressure. He knew what was on the line. He'd been there before. And I think it was on hole 16, and Patrick Cantlay went in the rough. And he's kind of wobbling a little bit as Fleetwood, and he sticks his drive right down the middle of the fairway. And I think that was the moment finally for him where he realized, okay, I'm gonna 2 hands on the wheel and steer this thing. And I just think it's a great testament to the person he is, to the way that his attitude about the sport, which is a good attitude for anyone, whether you're a baseball player, football player, basketball player, hockey, soccer, doesn't matter. Professional, youth, high school, whatever. And because he kept believing in himself and staying positive. And he stayed positive, and he did not let the outside noise get to him. And he accomplished something yesterday in this 163 starts for the first time in his career, PGA victory, and the biggest paycheck that he's ever received there for winning the FedEx Cup. That's Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One. It is your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services. Give them a call, 206-817-8917. Visit them, restoration1.com. Thanks for watching and listening today. Thank you to all our sponsors, Limbeck Lumber, Clean Streak, Brotherton Cadillac, Georgetown Brewery, John Howie Steak, also Restoration One. You can find today's Daily Puck Drop up on YouTube. When you're there, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Also find the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms and up at pucksports.com. When you're there up at pucksports.com, I encourage you, sign up to become a member of the Pucks Posse. You support all the free daily content we do. Plus, you get added bonus shows throughout the week. All you got to do is visit pucksports.com. Sorry for the late start today. User error on me. My bad. We will talk to you tomorrow on Tuesday's edition. Jim Duquette back with us. John Canzano. We'll talk a lot of college football coming up on tomorrow's show there with John Canzano, and baseball with Jim Duquette. It all starts, fingers crossed, at 10. Until then, as always, I mean it. I promise to be better.
No shoes, no dice.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!